black and endless gives me too much time to think. Cold as hanging coil, slow devil resting by my place. Carriage hums like low confession, steel is singing underfoot. Your old letter in my wallet, edges softened from the years. You once told me leave that circle, leave before it disappears. I stayed then and built a kingdom down in back rooms, quiet floors. Now I'm rolling from that kingdom, riding out through sliding doors. I'm the man on the last night train, leaving under my own name. I won't wait for boys with badges or a stranger with a hand. Let the tracks take all my secrets, let the wheels erase my stain. I don't run from what I did, I just leave it on this train. I remember that old diner where you traced lines on my hand. Said you walk like you own shadows, but they'll bill you in the end. I was counting silent favors like they'd never turn around. Moving pieces, moving people, every handshake, every pound. Now the neon on the platform flickers red, then fades away. Vending machine in the corner hums like it has more to say. Somewhere back inside that city, there's a room I'll never see, where they'll whisper that I vanished, but the choice was made by me. I'm the man on the last night train, leaving under my own name. I won't die inside that office with their numbers in my vein. Let the tracks take all my dealings, let the wheels cut every chain. I don't beg for some forgiveness, I just write it on this train. Overhead a cracked light flickers like a pulse that will not quit. All my ghosts sit in this carriage, none of them are talking yet. Every door I ever opened, every lock I ever turned, every stack of silent paper, every secret never burned. You once asked me for a promise that I'd walk while I still could, not as prey and not as trophy, just a man who understood. So I leave without a warning, no goodbye to cross your door. If they come to ask you questions, you can say you knew no more. I'm the man on the last night train, leaving under my own name. I won't trade my coat for mercy, won't be begging in that frame. Let the tracks take what they have to, let the wheels divide the blame. I don't hide from what I've chosen, I just carry it in a flame. As the dark fields slip behind me and this life breaks like a chain, all that I was stays back there. I move forward with this train. Slow build diamond cars with a drop-down bridge and emotional final frame. Gentlemen, outlaw highway drivers, I went through the chest. There's a suitcase by the door, handle frayed from change in town. Room key swinging from the lock, like it still can't settle down. I've been counting all the exits, like a man who knows the cost. Every favor, every promise is another mile of loss. So I'm writing you a letter that I'll fold, not let you read. 'Cause the only way I keep you safe is leaving quietly. I walk out like a legend, not a ghost. I won't let this crooked world decide my road. If I disappear before they get too close, just know I walked out like a legend, not a ghost. There's a diner sign across here, flickers red then fades to white. Coffee cups and tired faces staring into endless night. I've run messages in back rooms, closed the doors and named the price. Shook the hands that smiled in daylight, watched them turn to something else. You saw leather and a cool smile, thought I had this city tamed. Didn't see the quiet meetings where they whispered out my name. When the circle starts to tighten, someone's chair will turn to flame. I won't have you near that table when they start to clear the game. I walk out like a legend, not a ghost. I won't crawl or beg for mercy that they're owed. If I leave before the story's fully told, just know I walked out like a legend, not a ghost. I don't call this running, I call this drawing my own line. 'Cause a man who waits for judgment never chooses how he dies. I have done my share of damage, I have carried dirty notes, but I always kept a standard, never broke my quiet oath. You deserve a different ending than a siren in a sheet. So I'll vanish at this exit with the gravel under feet. If you hear about a stranger leaving cash beneath the door, or a car that fuels at midnight and is seen here nevermore, if a ring you should have pawned off finds its way back to your hand, take it as a sign I'm breathing somewhere past this piece of land. Don't you wait beside the window, don't you chase this moving line. Live a life that isn't written by the shadows I designed. When you think about my story, don't remember me as lost. Just a man who chose the roadway over someone else's cross. I walk out like a legend, not a ghost. I leave early so the worst can't drag you low. If my name becomes a rumor on the road, just know I walked out like a legend, not a ghost. Yeah, I walked out like a legend, not a ghost. With a key left in a door I never closed. There's a key on the counter, metal cold against my hand. Ceiling fan rattles slow above this almost empty land. My jacket's on the back of the stool, holster hanging by the seam. Name tag polished on my chest, but it don't say what it used to mean. There's a drawer back home with a bed sleeping, face down in the dark. Little shield of tarnished shine, once a clean and holy mark. I keep it like a closed case file, locked where no one sees. But some nights it feels like that badge is the one still judging me. Still judging me. We were two young wolves in a suit, walking halls of broken light. Boots on cracked tile floors, chasing whispers through the night. You had the quicker fists, I had a nose for every lie. We swore that nothing in this life would bend us, not till we died. Then came that wrong back room, that briefcase on the chair. The man who owed the underworld more than he could ever spare. We rewrote the story quiet, in ink only we could read. Took what we swore we'd never touch and called it evidence in need. Now your name's on a brass-plated door, mine spoken where the lights burn low. We still nod across the street, but there's things you never show. I sip to drown the echo of the night we crossed that floor. Every taste throws me back to that hidden badge in the drawer. I keep my badge in the shadows. I draw my lines in backroom deals and long quiet stairwell echoes. I'm a judge with a crooked halo, deciding who walks out and who pays more. Power cuts deep like a corner truth for a man with a badge in the drawer. There's a picture in my wallet, corners worn from all the years. Two rookies in cheap suits laughing, eyes too bright, too clear. I slide it back behind the cash like a crime I won't confess. 'Cause the man beside me in that frame wears a different kind of vest. Tonight you're up the hill somewhere, porch light on, kids fast asleep. I'm here with a glass going warm, counting deals I failed to keep. If I called and said I'm done, would you hear the siren in my tone? Or would you kill the line like a bad report and leave me here alone? Some sins hit like a thunderclap, some creeping like a friend. You shake one desperate hand that it owns you to the end. I walk the narrow hallway between justice and the tape. Every step another verdict on the choices that we made. I keep my badge in the drawer, but I still pull strings in the shadows, trading quiet favors and low voice threats and narrow echoes. I'm the ghost of a uniform promise, still knocking on a self-locked door. Power is a lonely sentence for a man with a badge in the drawer. Neon clock on the platform, hands past closing time. Ticket in my jacket, one straight printed line. You toss your bag up high, one strap about to tear. Drop into the aisle seat, city dust still in your hair. Carriage lights are humming and yellow down the road. Door breeze as it shuts on everything we know. I'm by the window, watching steel turn into fern. Got a seat in the last car, no return. stairs, counted other people's secrets in quiet little sheds. Rode in cars with windows dark, never asked the cost. Stacked up quiet favors till I measured what I'd lost. My name on metal briefcase in ledgers without ink, pulled more than one man backward from the edge without a blink. Tonight I bought this distance with every bridge I burned. Now I'm sitting in the last car, no return. I see you with those restless hands, phone screen on your knee, reading offers from some men who think they own what you could be. I got a seat in the last car, no return. Paid for this ticket with the lessons you still have to learn. You run into a fire I spent years trying to cool. You're walking into rooms where I was once the quiet rule. If you trust every shadow that this city lets you earn, you find yourself beside me in the last car, no return. Hallway lights keep blinking where the cars connect. Metal plates between them shake with every bend we take. I walk past the vending machine, humming faint and low. See your outline double in the dark behind the glow. You look up when I pass, like you feel the weight I bring. I nod once, keep moving, fingers on the safety ring. I'm not your father, not your judge, just a man who had his turn, holding steady in the last car, no return. Every mile on these rails is a choice I didn't share. Every quiet warning swallowed in the stale car air. If you keep that same direction, chasing numbers you don't own, you'll learn how thin the line is between a legend and a loan. I got a seat in the last car, no return. Bought my way out with every scar. You still think you'll learn. You can chase that shining promise till the steel begins to burn. But the exit for men like us is always hard to learn. When this town writes down the names of those who never did get turned, you remember I was waiting in the last car, return, no return. with a drop-down bread and the burgers from Tacity in the final chore. You tap your ring on polished wood, say you're ready for the fire. You think power's in the bullet, in the echo of the choir. But I've signed men out of living with a flick of this old pen. Moved a column, cut a number, never touched a gun on them. Every favor that you cash in puts a crack across the floor. And I'm the one who feels it tilt when they stop knocking at the door. There's a ledger on this desktop, pages thick with quiet names. Every line a little history of who owed and who got paid. There's a chessboard by the window, one black bishop off the side. I removed him from the table when he couldn't learn to hide. You call guys your brothers easy, pour them drinks and slap their hands. But when numbers start collapsing, brotherhood turns into sand. I've watched partners turn to problems when they thought they couldn't fall. I kept smiling, did the talking while I moved them off the board. You think I'm just a man in shadows, counting chips behind the scenes. But the last word in this room is never spoken by who screams. I never pull the trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. I'm the man behind the ledger, balancing your borrowed time. You can walk out with a handshake or get crossed out with a line. 'Cause I never pull the trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. There's a folder in this drawer here with your face in black and white. Little notes about your habits, where you gamble late at night. Don't mistake this for a threat, call it mercy, call it grace. I'm the only one up here still arguing to keep your place. But if you keep making noise where the walls are paper thin, if you keep on flashing teeth at men who only deal in grim, I'll be forced to make a judgment like the others that I've signed. And you'll vanish from this office like a figure from my mind. So listen when I tell you, lower your voice, control your eyes. Real power's in the silence when you're holding all the ties. I never pull the trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. I'm the man behind the ledger, keeping scores you can't deny. You can walk out with a favor or get crossed out with a line. 'Cause I never pull the trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. I've protected men I shouldn't, dragged their names back from the brink, paid their debts with pieces of me that I never thought I'd sink. Every time I save a brother, something colder fills my chest. 'Cause I know if I miscalculate, they'll come collecting from the rest. Trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. If I circle you in red, there ain't no priest, there ain't no sky. Sit 'Cause I never pull the trigger, but I choose who leaves alive. Yeah, I'm the man behind the ledger, and I choose who leaves alive. Faded number on the door, paint peeling off the frame, thin walls humming with a highway, every truck sounds the same. Motel Bible in the drawer, lamp stained to yellow gold, single bed with a wrinkled sheet and a story running cold. Motel key on the table, little tag with room 9, folded map by the ashtray, red marks crossing every line. I'm sitting on the edge, boots planted on a worn out floor, writing words I'll never send. Then I'll walk out through that door. You met me in a corner booth, coffee in your steady hand. You laughed at how I watched the exits more than I watched the band. I said I dealt in quiet debts, you just smiled and let it slide. You were brighter than that neon, but you still sat by my side. Years went by and backseat nights, deals done under low-hung moon. You asked me once you ever leave, I said not yet, but soon. Soon kept moving down the road like a sign I drove straight past. Now I'm here with one last turn, and our time already passed. I kept you at a distance, thought that I was keeping you safe. Built a circle made of secrets, never let you see that place. At the last exit motel, I leave on my own terms. I won't wait to be erased by the fire that I earned. I'm no saint in a white shirt, but I'm not somebody's prey. I'm the hand that folds the letter, then I choose to fade away. If the life comes looking for me, it'll find an empty shell, 'cause I checked out of its keeping at the last exit motel. Neon from the gas sign blinks, green to tire, then back to red. Vending by the ice machine hums a rhythm half undead. Black duffel by the doorway, one suit and a second name. Phone face down on the mattress, lit once, then it dims to flame. Your picture in my wallet, worn edge where my thumb once stayed. I could drive back to your window, tap the glass and change the fade. But I know the ghosts that trail me and the weight I call my dues. So I drop this key in passing and I leave the night to you. You deserve Yeah, the last exit motel, I leave on my own terms. I won't wait to be a warning when the whole street twists and burns. I'm no hero in your memory, just a name you once could spell. I'm the hand that folds the letter and releases you as well. If the life comes asking questions, there's no trail for them to tell, 'cause I vanished in the silence of the last exit motel. Exit motel. Chair, back turned to it all. Tick of the clock in the low city hum. File stacked high till my fingertips go numb. I got a fountain pen bleeding through the page. Names in a column, dead date and wage. You on this side once, counting in your head, smiling at the margins, running what we said. We swore on a handshake, no need to sign. Whatever comes, brother, you're tied to mine. Now your name's a line that I blacked out instead. Filed in a drawer, marked already dead. I balance what they do, I balance what I've done. You pulled the trigger, I blessed it when it was done. Thought I'd stay clean in a tie and a ring, but every neat total hides a crooked thing. Black ink, heavy hands, I'm the one who keeps the score. I make the books look holy with a body at the door. I'm the quiet man you trust when you can't afford to fall. But every line I write for power puts another ghost on the wall. Your black ink, heavy hands, I built this kingdom from the sun. And the price of being trusted is a man I can't outrun. glass like a low man should do. If you read this letter, I ain't sent it. You see every quiet choice bending from the first small favor to the final deal, where I signed my name and forgot how to feel. I tell myself I kept this table steady, but the mirror says I sold you when they came ready. Black ink, heavy hands, I'm the one who keeps the score, turning sins into figures like we never touched the floor. I'm the gentleman in silence, in a city built on lies, but the columns can't protect me from the faces in my eyes. Your black ink, heavy hands, if there's a ledger up above, they'll see my finest balance bar with my own brother's love. Brother's love.
Elevator bell is silenced. All the suits went home. Key card on the table by your quiet and glowing phone. My jacket on the armchair, cufflinks in a tray. You curled up on the leather where you waited out my day. Heaven keeps on humming over documents and glass. Security screens are flickering, empty halls of brass. I'm standing by the window while the traffic threads its mass, talking low with my back to the glass. On paper I'm a partner in a bright clean tower, but the real ink dries after every midnight hour. Folders with no logos, numbers that don't sleep, and deals in quiet corners that the front rooms never keep. I shook hands with steady men who never signed their names. Turn small debts to empires, turn loose ends into chains. You ask me what it's costing when I slip out, when I pass. I say I pay it by standing with my back to the glass. And lately every meeting feels like someone taking aim. The smiles around the table, eyes that never say the same. I keep my back to the glass. trouble ever rises, it has to come through my door. I built this little kingdom on the edges of the line, but I won't let the weight of it fall across your spine. You can lay in my shadow, but you won't wear my past. So I hold this room alone with my back to the glass. I cross the quiet carpet, kill the boardroom light, lock the inner office, leave the hallway bright. Turn your phone face downward, slide your heels aside. Tell you if the storm hits, you'll be nowhere near the tide. There's a code in how I'm moving, measured, slow and sure. I'll carry what I started, keep your fingerprints pure. If they come to shake this building, they can shatter all this glass, but they won't find your name behind my back to the glass. I won't promise you an easy life, only one that's clean. No late night knocks from voices asking what you've seen. If you stay as daylight, not a ghost inside my deals. I'll be the one who answers for the way nobody feels. I keep my back to the glass on the top floor. If the city comes collecting, it will knock on my door. I carved out this position where the bright rooms fade to black, and I'll pay for every favor that could ever trace our tracks. You can walk out through the lobby, or you can hold me fast. Either way I stand a gentleman with my back to the glass. Back to the glass.
Front lights going down low, bartender counting out the till. Chairs flipped on the tabletops, everything is fine and still. Back door's got a single bolt, humming like a warning sign. Ledger open on the desk, pages running out of time. Glass resting on a coaster, untouched by my right hand. Pen turning in my left, like a slow and quiet command. I'm the one who moves the pieces, keeps the numbers in a line. When you see calm on the surface, every angle's already mine. Busted shoes and tied eyes, taught you how to wear a suit, how to listen through the lies. Put a watch upon your wrist, put a steel spine in your coat. told you never talk too much, let your discipline be a no. You grew into a storm boy, every room leaned out your way. Fast hands, sharp grin, doing things I never say. Then the whispers hit my office, he's too wild, he won't obey. Now your name sits in the margin where the risk won't wash away. Every favor, every promise, every debt that we create lives in columns on this paper, weighing love against the weight. I keep the balance, and the balance never lies. I sign decisions in the back room while the city shuts its eyes. I don't shout about my power, I just live by what I wrote. I'm the quiet undercurrent underneath your every note. If your story doesn't add up, I can cut it down to size. I keep the balance, and the balance never lies. Side lock, loading bay and cellar door. Safe humming in the corner, like it's breathing with the room. Stacks of figures, folded paper, shadows pressed into the gloom. Your face flickers for a second, grainy frame and crooked grin. I remember when I told you we don't let the chaos in. Now I'm charting out your damage with a ruler built from fear, trying not to see the kid I pulled out of that doorway. I'm no savior in a mirror, I'm a man who counts the cost. Keep the structure, keep the order, or the whole street line is lost. If I bend it once for family, every hour will test the code. So I draw the line in silence and let ink replace the load. I keep the balance, and the balance never lies. I write your ending in the margins while the night ignores your cries. I don't beg for clean forgiveness, I just carry what I know. I'm the calm hand in the ledger when it's time to let you go. If your choices break the figures, I can't save you one more time. I keep the balance, and the balance draws a line. Backroom freezer hums behind a thin gray wall. Clock above the doorway, dragging through last call. You sit at the small table, jacket on the chair, ledger half open, loose bills tasting air. Standing by the exit with my shoulder to the frame. Green light over my head, spelling out one name. One hand to one deadbolt, concrete on the floor. If things turn ugly, I'm the man at the back door. We started running errands, same boots, same street. You talk to every stranger, I just watch their feet. You like a crowded entrance, bright lights, loud scenes. I learned to serve her stairways and the quiet in between. Somebody had to stand where the hallway thins, where one wrong sentence stops and another life begins. I don't talk about the nights no one came back for more. I just kept my post as the man at the back door. Lately you've been louder, chasing names that flash and fade, forgetting how this life was built in corridors and shade. I'm the man at the back door, where the noise runs out of breath, where the laughter hits the wall and remembers there is death. You can dance in the front room, play your little war, but respect signs its name underneath my door. If you ever cross the line we swore we'd never ignore, you won't see a courtroom, just a man at the back door. Metal stairs outside, paint rust in a light. Dumpster by the corner, one stray cat keeping time. Boots on damp concrete, echo slow and low. Exit sign flickers on the alley's narrow glow. I walk you to the threshold, feel the tremor in the key. Tell you this is the last time, it's just you and me. One more careless promise and you know the score. I won't write it as betrayal, I'll just lock this door. I don't shout, I don't boast, I don't need my name in lights. I keep the code, take the weight, finish quiet nights. If you stay on your side, I guard yours like my own. But if you cut the wrong deal, you'll walk that walk alone. I'm the man at the back door, where the noise runs out of breath, where the shine on your stories has to answer for the rest. You can chase every spotlight till your souls get sore, but the only thing that matters is the way you leave this floor. When this city counts the men, it's truly keeping score. You'll stand eye to eye with the man at the back door. Got this desk lamp burning over ink-stained hands tonight. Green glass throwing shadows over columns in black and white. Your jacket's on the hanger where you tossed it long ago. And I'm writing you a letter that you're never gonna know. There's a safe behind the picture of our first small-time score, and a suitcase by the doorway that's never touched this floor. We started counting favors back when credit came in cash. You shook hands in quiet hallways, I adjusted every stash. I learned to move the commas when the heat was closing in, while you raised up your glass and made the whole room lean and grin. But every hidden transfer, every whispered crooked deal left another silent number carved in something I can feel. You think the night is endless when the skyline knows your name, but I keep seeing red lines running through this little game. I'm the one who keeps the numbers, but the numbers keep on me. Every zero, every favor is a chain you barely see. You call me when it's dirty, when you need the waters clean. I'm the balance in your shadow, and the ghost in every scheme. In the book where we wrote power, the legend never sleeps on what we've done. There's a ticket in my pocket for a train beyond the yards, folded with a faded photo in old security cars. Your name shines on the letterhead, mine lives inside the lines, but my face lives in this mirror, and I'm done with borrowed time. So I'm leaving you the passwords and the key to every room, and the quiet you'll be hearing when this office feels like tomb. Brother, all these tidy columns aren't just house and lucky runs. Every favor has an owner, every secret point's a gun. You can bluff against the dealers, you can buy another night, but the balance doesn't bargain when the totals come to life. I'm the one who keeps the numbers, but the numbers keep on me. Every credit hides a warning, every profit hides a fee. You call me when it's dirty, when you need the waters clean, but I won't die in this ledger as the ghost of every scheme. In the book where we wrote power, the legend never sleeps, but I walk on. Motor-tilky on the table, faded number in the brass. Thin carpet under my boots, highway humming past the glass. Coffee gone cold in a paper cup, ink bleeding on this page. I write your name at the top and cross it out like a line from a wage. Been the ghost in the corridor, the last number people dial, wiping down stories for men who can't sleep with their own crooked smile. I always left before sunrise, never stayed long enough to feel. Now I'm stuck in this room with a letter, wondering which parts were real. You were the one with the loud laugh, I was a shadow at your back. You shook hands in the front room, I checked the doors, watched the track. Tiled floors, quiet stairs, I walked them like I owned the night. Every problem had an angle, every angle had to look right. Then came that job at the edge of town, where the numbers smelled off and thin. Phone on the nightstand, buzzing, your voice low, saying we're all in. You said we'll split it and disappear, I said let me clean it first. But the ledger wanted balance, so I chose the deal and you got the worst. Now the ice in my veins feels more like stone. Every footstep in this hallway rings like your voice on the phone. Can't wash out the echo with bleach or time. Some stains live on the inside, past any crime. I'm the man who makes your sins just disappear, the quiet hand that wipes your footprints from the pier. But there's one mark I can't clean, it's staring back so clear in this cracked motel mirror. It's the face I've worn for years. I'm the cleaner that they call when the night goes wrong, but I can't erase my brother from this song. Suit folded in the suitcase, envelope under the chair. Cash for the kid you never met, the only way I know to care. I trace circles on the tabletop, like I'm planning one more run. But the map in my head is empty, every road spells done. There's a roadside dine across the lot, lights buzzing dull and blue. I could walk in, leave this letter there, pray it finds its way to you. Or burn it in the trash can, let the smoke rise of my regret and vanish like I always have, just a rumor in a press shirt and vest. If you could hear me tonight, I'd lay it out straight. This life is a polished blade with a slow, steady weight. It looks like control from the outside, clean curves and calm eyes, but it's just carry secrets that never quite die. So if some younger man is listening, thinking he wants this name, tell him the cost runs deeper than the shine or the fame. Every quiet favor you do, every quiet mess you mend, write your own name in the margin under the word end. the man who makes your sins just disappear, the silent hand that turns your chaos from the clear. But there's one mark I can't clean, no matter how I steer. It's carved in the glass of this mirror. It's the life I engineered. I'm the cleaner that they call when the night goes wrong. Last job on the ledger, write my own name. Then I'm gone.
Glass wall on my back, city burning soft and blue. Desk lamp halo over folder stamped approved. There's a fountain pen waiting by a crystal paperweight. Security feeds flicker, show the lobby running late. Tied not loosened, cufflinks catching little moons. Clock on the wall, walking past 11 soon. One empty leather chair across this polished wood. Someone's quiet future in a contract ain't too good. Yeah. I started on the ground floor, counting bills are closed, sweeping bills to envelopes, learning how it flows. Watch men shake hands in the corner, never raise my head. Just memorize the patterns and the words they never said. Now my name's on the letterhead, on the brass by the door. I sign the deals that keep the quiet storms offshore. They shake my hand, call it clean enterprise, but I can feel the number staring back like eyes. Every line I draw is another hidden weight. Every neat little clause is a side bet with fate. I'm the hand behind the signatures after midnight, turning trouble into figures under soft off light. You see a gentleman with a view and a straight tie. I see the ledger in the glass when the cars pass by. When this city wants its silence, dressed in white, it comes to me for signatures after midnight. Out by the old bridge, there's a sedan by the rail. Headlights pointed down, cutting silver through the veil. Step from my dark car, shoes on weathered stone. Folder under arm, like a judge walking alone. No small talk, just a brief nod, eyes tight. I pass him the copy, terms already wide right. River underneath us keeps his counsel tight. Carries off whatever doesn't fit in right. I could burn half these pages the right. You see a chairman with his shirt cuffs white. I see every buried favor written in that light. If I ever walk away, it will still hold me tight. This city's built on signatures after midnight. City lights on the window, stacked like chips against the glass. Clock hand crawling past midnight, watching all the numbers pass. Ledger open on the desktop, columns running thin and black. Every name a quiet favor, every favor pulling back. Chessboard by the corner lamp, game frozen mid-attack. King still standing in the sand, the night's already off the track. You walk in with restless shoulders, heat still on your stained up skin. Say you handled some loose talkers, say you had to lean on them. Just a thin kid, hungry eyes. Didn't speak unless it mattered, listen more than most men wise. I showed you where the real work lives, not in noise out on the street. In the folders, in the silence, in the lines they never see. Now you wear the fitted jacket, shake the hands and hold the key. But I hear your name in whispers where your name should never be. You keep leaning on the edges, like the rules don't touch your side. Like the stairs that got you upward won't decide how far you slide. You think power lives in shouting, in the way you fill a room. But the ones who make the choices rarely ever leave this view. 'Cause I'm the hand on the pen, in the ledger, in the dark. I'm the one who draws a circle, who decides who keeps their mark. You can pace around the hallway, play the lion in the yard. But when numbers turn against you, I'm the quiet hidden heart. You feel safe inside the spotlight, but that spotlight's just a spark. I'm the calm behind your fortune, I'm the ledger in the dark. I'm the ledger in the dark. There's a briefcase by the doorway, clasp still shining, never scarred. Phone vibrating on the sideboard, 3 missed calls already start. In the hallway, lights are humming, elevator
shoes today. I've erased more names than crossfire without reaching for the steel. Stood beside men crowned as legends, watch the ink decide what's real. I don't come to you with begging, I don't plead for you to stay. I just offer you a moment to step back from where you stray. 'Cause I'm the hand on the pen, in the ledger in the dark. I'm the shadow on your prophet, and the last unspoken part. You can dance with every handshake, play the hero strong and hard. But when debts refuse to balance, I'm the weight against your heart. If you walk back through that doorway, we can keep you off that chart. If you don't, you'll feel me later in the ledger in the dark.
The lights in the back room flicker, but they don't shine like they used to do. I sit here alone with my glass in hand, trying to forget what's come unglued. Once I had a throne here, made my name with a quiet kind of grace. Now the bar's empty, just shadows and dust, where I used to see familiar faces. I thought I had control of it all, but the city's colder than it ever seemed. Those deals, those promises, they meant nothing when you woke from the dream. Now the whispers in the alleyways crawl and choke the air I breathe. I'm just another man fading in the dark, lost in the web I weave. I remember the first time I stepped into this room, the city at my feet. I built my empire with quiet words, but I never heard the hearts beat. The ones I trusted turned their backs, played me like a man who lost the game. But it's my fault too, I played the hand that led me down this road of shame. Now the lights outside seem so far, like they're barely part of me. I ran the game but forgot the cost, and it can't follow me. I'm a ghost in my own house, and the bottles never change. The walls don't speak my name anymore, but I still hear the chain. It was loyalty I traded, but I never saw the price.
The city that I love now, just a stranger passing by. I hear the echoes of my name, but they don't ring as loud as before. I built my throne on silence, but now it's just a broken floor. The lights are fading in this city, and I'm still here waiting for the call. I built this kingdom with my hands, but now I've lost it all. I walk like a real man, but the shadows catch my stride. The power I once held now fades, and there's nowhere left to hide. The lights are fading in this city, and I can't escape my past. I'm just another ghost walking, waiting for the last. I used to walk these streets with pride, my name on every corner. But now I see the empty faces, and the city couldn't care any longer. I built my empire on broken dreams, but it didn't last for long. I should have known the city's love is always here, and then it's gone. Now the bridges I crossed don't lead to the past I thought I knew, and every deal I made feels like a lie I never could undo. But I'll keep standing here, even when the lights burn out. I built this place, and I'll take the blame for the darkness all around. So here I am, alone with my drink, just waiting for the night to end. I built this empire on my own, but I'll never see it again. I can't take back what I did, can't undo the sins I've sold. But maybe I'll find peace in the shadows, where I'm free from what I've lost. The lights are fading in this city, and I'm still here waiting for the call. I built this kingdom with my hand, but now I've lost it all. I walk like a real man, but the shadows catch my stride. The power I once held now fades, and there's nowhere left to hide. The lights are fading in this city, and I can't escape my past. I'm just another ghost walking, waiting for the last.
Sitting here with my coat collar, watch the city lights fade. The train's rolling out the station, nothing left to say. There's a man asleep across the aisle, his suitcase on the floor. But he don't know the weight I carry from the life I left me. The city's growing smaller, but it feels like it's still here. Humming in the tracks beneath me, whispering in my ear. Like a ghost that won't go quiet, no matter how far I run. But I've seen enough to know I'm done.
windows flash with darkness, just a blur of empty street. And the sound of this engine's the only thing I need. There's a toll the city's taking, paid in debts and wrong turns. Lessons learned in shadows, bridges burned. Now the tracks are calling with a rhythm all my own. I just want a place to stand that's not the weight of stone. You taught me how to run, but now I'm running from you. The city's love is poison, and it's all I ever knew. This is the last ride on the midnight train. Wheels roll steady, but they won't take away the pain. I'm leaving behind everything I used to know, but the city's got a way of keeping you close. Yeah, I'm riding now, but I don't know where it leads. On this last ride, looking for a place to breathe. See the lights from the diner across the track, but I'm not stopping here, no, I'm not turning back. Smell of coffee rising from the road I used to walk. Another piece of me that's gone, another line to cross. The night is long and empty, and the miles turn to more. But I'm not afraid of what's ahead, just what I'm running for. A man who knows his shadow can't escape the sun. I'll keep moving till the past is finally undone. If I keep my eyes on the horizon, I won't see what's left behind. The city keeps its secrets, but I'm not gonna mind. This is the last ride on the midnight train. The wheels roll steady, but they won't take away the pain. I'm leaving behind everything I used to know, but the city's got a way of keeping you close. Yeah, I'm riding out, but I don't know where it leads. On this last ride, looking for a place to breathe. On this last ride, looking for a place to breathe. There's a green desk lamp on us, polished wood, throwing shadows on the page. Your name's a thin, cold line of ink, buried under profit and rage. I've got folders on the table, corners bare like guilty thoughts. Every favor that we traded, every quiet war we bought. I still hear your boots in the hallway, saying I think too far ahead. You laugh, you watch the figures. I'll deal with the living and the dead. Now the room is all ventilation hum, and a clock with a stubborn hand. And this pen feels like a trigger, only I still understand. You remember that cramped back office where we split the very first tape? You swore you'd never owe a man more than you were willing to break. I started reading the patterns, who would fold and who would stay. You started closing the doors behind the ones who walked away. Tonight the city stains the glass, a white grid of what we own. But the brightest bulbs out there shine on a stone with no name shown. I signed off on a meeting where your seat was left turned to the wall, and I squared off all the columns with the space where you used to stand tall. I told myself it was numbers, survival, nothing personal at all. Just another quiet entry so the tower wouldn't fall. I'm the man who keeps the ledger in the dark, counting every favor, every scar, every missing part. I make sure the house still stands when the fire's burning high, but the ink on my hands is a life I let die. Yeah, I'm the one who keeps the ledger in the dark, and every line I write still burns like your mark. There's a plain glass on the blotter, water gone warm, unchanged all night. An unopened little envelope with your old badge, edges white. I keep your knife in the drawer, dull from carving through our past. Strange how a tired piece of metal outlives a man who ran the fast. They call me calm, steady, the one who never slips. But they don't see the way this letter shakes between my fingertips. I could blame the man above me, say he forced my careful hand. Truth is I drew the circle and erased you from the plan. If these pages ever travel, they'd be mailed right back to me. A reminder that the quiet sea still charges its own fee. You once said a brother's worth more than any stack you hold. I weighed you like an asset and I did what I was told. I'm the man who keeps the ledger in the dark, adding up the ghosts that built this quiet ark. I keep this empire balanced while the alleys run hard and wild, but the cost of every corner is the face of a lost child. Yeah, I'm the one who keeps the ledger in the dark, silent by the window while the city leaves its mark. I keep the tower standing, but the trade cut out my heart. I'm the man who keeps the ledger in the
lampshade halo on a crowded wooden desk, photos
There's a key in the drawer and a safe in the wall. Old phone waiting for a name that still can call. I've been adding up names in the margins of the page, balancing the favors, balancing the rage. You're downstairs somewhere, straightening your tattered climb. Think a steady hand and nerve are all you need this time. You see the quiet office and the silver on my wrist. Think the numbers and the silence make a life you can't resist. But every quiet you whisper out of sight draws another little chain, one more link around your life. You think debts are figures you can shuffle and arrange, but every promise that you make makes something in you change. I watched a man walk in here with a smile and steady nod, walked out with his pockets full, but his own name signed to ours. There's a clock without a tick in the corner of this room, but I feel every second like a shadow in full bloom. Paper cuts and cold accounts don't list the scars by name. You only see them when you look at who you were before the game. You want the chair, you want the name. You think control means you can carry the flame. Every favor that you call carves you into the frame. You don't just take the crown, you take the blame. These are the terms of the game. These are the terms of the game. There's a photo in a drawer I never let myself unfold. Two young faces at a table where we planned a different road. One of us took chances that I laid out like a chart. Now he lives in quiet whispers and a number in my heart. I still straighten every ledger, line the columns up just right. Tell myself that order keeps the ghost out of the night. But when the building's almost empty and the hallway hum runs thin, I hear footsteps that remember how it felt before this skin. So when that elevator door slides open to this floor, no, you're not just stepping through a polished wooden door. You're walking into something that remembers every choice, and it's your own reflection that'll be the judging voice. You want the chair, you want the name. You think this life will always bow to your aim. Every quiet little yes signs you into the flame. You don't just take the crown, you take the shame. These are the terms of the game, written deep where no ink can fade. You want the chair, you want the name. Back room after closing, chairs turned upside on the floor. Single bulb above the table, paint is peeling from the door. Ledger open in the middle, ink still shining where it's wet. You keep wiping down that counter like you're cleaning my regret. Stack of chips in front of me from games that nobody sees. Not the kind you play with cards, just quiet debts and quiet fees. You ask why a man like me stays sitting long after the crowd. I just nod toward this notebook, say this is where I speak out loud. There was one man in those pages, more than numbers on a line. We grew up on the same corner, shared the first small crooked dimes. He could read a room on entry, knew when danger filled the air. But he gambled with our balance, thought the rules would bend for prayer. He made side deals in a hallway, brought a crack into the frame. When the figures didn't add up, every arrow hit his name. I don't tremble when I tell it, I don't stutter when I speak, but the ink around that entry still looks darker every week. You think power's in the spotlight, in the glass and in the cheer, but the hand that moves the columns is the one they really fear. I'm the mind behind the money, I'm the shadow in the light. I keep score behind the curtain, I decide who sleeps at night. Every favor, every promise, every wrong and every right. In the ledger of the darkness, I put blood against the bite. I don't shout about my power, I just balance out the fight. I'm the one who sets the numbers in the ledger of the night. Now the phones stay a little quieter, still I feel them watching close. Men who owe me, men who hate me, often that's the same list most. I walk hallways soft and careful, never leave my back unchecked. Lock the heavy metal cabinet, close the folder, snap the latch. But no lock inside this building ever holds that single page where he smiles in small handwriting from a younger, sharper age. You can call it cold decision, you can call it what you will. He had placed us on the crosshair, so I chose to keep us still. So when someone like you asks me if I ever taste regret, I just trace his crooked signature and light another cigarette. I won't beg the night for mercy, I won't claim I wasn't right, but I know which name I circled in the margin of that night.
You came up in the elevator, shoes too loud on the floor. Straight ties, sharp eyes, knocking once on my door. City lights are crawling on the glass behind my chair. Files open on the desktop, heavy numbers in the air. Chessboard by the window with a game half played. Two kings still standing, all the cheap pieces paid. You say I want the fast lane, want the bigger view. I lean back in the leather, say the lane runs through. I started in a back room, counting money I don't spend. Kept the quiet books while the loud ones met their end. Watch men build empires on a promise and a smile. Watch them disappear without a trace in a file. They call me when the pressure puts a crack in every plan. I turn shaking hands into something they can stand. Now every contract, every debt, every hidden sliver runs across this desk and out over the river. Down there they shout and swear they're not afraid to die. Up here it's just the numbers and the reasons why. I keep the coat above the river where the glass meets night. Pull the strings with steady fingers, never chase the light. I'm not your hero, I'm the rule that keeps your world in line. You wanna walk like a legend, you better hold a harder spine. All that noise down in the alleys, all that easy glitter fever ends in water if you don't respect the code above the river. Never talk in corridors, never lean on open doors. Keep your phone in pieces when you walk these floors. Don't laugh too loud with strangers, don't drink what you don't pour. Sign only what you know, you'd sign again once more. I slide a thin folder to the edge of my desk, names blacked out, the rest of it clear as glass and flesh. Pick one mistake in there, I said that you could outlive. 'Cause every move you envy is a price someone must give. I've very good suits with their cufflinks on, seen strong men vanish with the dawn. Still I sit in this quiet room, moving pieces that outlast the boom. I warn you once in a steady tone, this kind of power walks alone. I keep the coat above the river where the glass runs cold. Turn your hunger into orders, turn your fire into control. I'm not your father, I'm the hand behind this weighted pen. You wanna stand like a legend, you learn to count like a man. All that noise down in the alleys, all that careless little fever falls off the edge of these windows if you break the code above the river.
Hotel key on a plastic ring hanging from the TV light. Ice machine down the hallway moaning to the same old night. Boots by the peeling doorway, map folded on the chair. Your name scribbled in the margin like a town that isn't there. There's a coffee cup gone cold here, lipstick ghost on the rim. I still see you in the kitchen, laughing soft and talking dim. But a man like me brings thunder where your quiet mornings live. So I packed my coat and engine, and I left you what I could not give. I'm the ghost in your rear view when the blacktop turns to glass, rolling just beyond your headlights, never meant for you to catch. If you think you see me watching when the long night starts to move, that's just the road and my reflection. I'm a ghost in your rear view. Gas station sign keeps flickering, buzzing white and pale dark blue. There's a payphone by the restroom that still knows my voice and you. I can dial those crooked numbers, hear your hello in my head, taste the promise on my tongue that I'm not allowed to spread. 'Cause the men I used to ride with still remember what I've done, and they'd follow in its softness like a trail under the sun. So I leave my words unwritten, let the silence take their place. Guard your doorway from a distance, like a man who lost his face. I'm the ghost in your rear view when the blacktop turns to glass, rolling just beyond your headlights, never meant for you to catch. If you think you see me watching when the long night starts to move, that's just the road and my reflection. I'm a ghost in your rear view. I still carry that small picture tucked behind my license plate. You leaning on the back porch rail, daring me to not be late. Every time I cross a county, every time the motel's new, I hang my jacket by the door like I'm coming home to you. But this life is made of choices that don't bend once they are cast, and a man is what he honors, not the softness he walks past. So I drive out when the dawn comes, leave the sheets still warm with thought, let the engine be my alibi for the peace I almost brought. I'm the ghost in your rear view when the blacktop turns to glass, rolling just beyond your headlights, never meant for you to catch. If you ever feel me near you when the sky's turning blue, that's just the road still running through me, and my ghost in your rear view.
station where the highway bends, resting over pump 3, humming at the ends of a long bad chapter, folded in my glove, receipts in quiet number for the pressure that we shove. Diner sign is buzzing over coffee turned to tar. One truck in the corner, no names at the bar. My face in the plexiglass, steady, warm, alive, fueling up a black car that was never built to die. Started with a toolbox and a borrowed ride. You watched the doors, I watched the figures slide. Turn late bills to leverage on the edge of town. Turn favors into ledgers, turn whispers into crown. You like the heat of being first on every call. I like the quiet back room where the debts would fall. Now you're holding that city like a narrow balanced knife, and I'm a few miles outside the light. Every line we cross with open eyes. You stayed at the table, I took the leaving side. We carved in steel and chrome, still carry all the names that never made it home. I'm not running like a coward, I'm driving like a man who knows what he has taken and still owns where he stands. If the sirens ever echo, fading back into the night, I'll be out here on the shoulder, miles outside the light. Oh, oh, motel key on the counter, chipped off yellow paint. Mirror in the bathroom shows a man who bears restraint. Suit hung on a hanger, shirt sleeves rolled and worn. Shadow of a revolver in the lamplight on the drawer. TV talking nonsense to an empty second bed. Your face in the silence, every word we left unsaid. If they circle round your building, if they press you for the knife, they won't see me. I'll be miles outside the light. Brother, I won't drag you down this long and empty line. Won't let them stain you with the quiet sins of mine. If I ever hear your corner, I'll come in from this road, step back through that doorway and stand in what I owe. I'm miles outside the life we carved in steel and chrome. Still carry all the names that never made it home. I'm not hiding in the darkness, I'm choosing where I fight. Watching every passing exit in the rear view of the night. If the city starts to tremble, if they come to name our price, I'll turn this wheel back toward you from miles outside the light. city lights are fading, the tracks hum in the night. My suitcase packed, but there's nothing left to fight. The window's fogging up as the train starts to move. A life left behind with nothing left to prove. I've run these streets too many times, played the hand I was dealt with crimes, but now the wheels are turning and I can't slow them down. Leaving this city, leaving it all behind the sound. The city's alive in my rear view, pulling me back, but this train's a one-way ride. There's no turning back. I've seen the faces, heard the lies, watched the shadows cover the skies. But every deal, every lie, every hand I've shaken was just another weight on the life I'm forsaken. And now the tracks call me to a place I can't name, a future unknown, but it's better than the shame. There's a shadow on my mind and the city's still here, but I'm chasing a silence that's just out of clear. I tried to run before, but the city knows my name. Now I'm just another ghost, gone without the fame. This train's the last ride out of here, through the dark, away from the fear. The city's whispers can't catch me now. I'm running, but I'm still bound somehow. This train's the last ride, it's the only way out. But I know the ghosts will follow me, there's no doubt. I remember the deals, I remember the nights, the smoke-filled rooms and the neon lights. But nothing feels right when you're living in chains, and every win just brings you more pain. I've seen the others who stayed too long, now they're shadows, lost and gone. So I'm packing my bags and taking my last breath, leaving it all, leaving it to death. The wheels keep turning and the lights fade away, but I'm already gone, won't be back to stay. There's a price on my soul, but it's too late to care. The road ahead's empty, but I'm breathing the air. This train's the last ride out of here, through the dark, away from the fear. The city's whispers can't catch me now. I'm running, but I'm still bound somehow. This train's the last ride, it's the only way out. But I know the ghosts will follow me, there's no doubt. This train's the last ride, it's the only way out. But I know the ghosts will follow me, there's no doubt.